Okay, so welcome on behalf of Plano Public Library. And we have with us today a team from the University of North Texas. And so we thank you on their behalf as well for coming today to the Game of Life. My name is Kristen, and we have Jess here as our technology expert and assisting with the program and the chat. So we're happy to have y'all here today. I'm so happy to have with us the University of North Texas Student Money Management Center. Two of the representative students at University of North Texas who are going to run today's Game of Life are Rodolfo Gomez and Juan Garcia. So we're happy to have you guys with us today. And I'll let you give a little more information about yourself.
For sure. Thank you. So yes, they mentioned we are from the Student Money Management Center. My name is Juan Garcia, and I'm one of the current graduate assistants here for the center. And I will be one of your hosts today for this fun Game of Life. And my partner in crime over here, I'm gonna go ahead and let him introduce himself as well.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rodolfo Gomez, and I am also a graduate assistant at the Student Money Management Center.
Awesome. Do you want us to go ahead and get started with the Game of Life?
Yeah,
Awesome.
We can go ahead and just run your show. It looks great.
Awesome.
And looking forward to all the great learning that's going to go on.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, guys. So welcome to the Game of Life. Hopefully this, presentation, you all get something to learn from, as we're gonna kind of give you a little overview of how people usually navigate through life and just the financial responsibilities that come with, navigating life. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So before we actually get started, here's a couple of things we're kind of going to be talking about during the presentation and during the game. So of course, we're going to be giving you a little overview of who the Student Money Management Center is, if you don't know, just kind of the services that we offer to students. And then, of course, before we get started on the game, we're going to be covering a couple of topics that will help you kind of get familiarized with the things that we're going to be talking about during the game. And then it's going to be game time. And then after the game, we're just going to be doing a little recap and a little review of the things that we covered during the game. And then, of course, we're going to be talking about your money personality, and then just wrapping up the whole presentation with any closing statements and such. So first of all, for those who don't know who the Student Money Management Center is, we do pride ourselves in three main programs that we offer here to students. So the first one being the financial wellness program. So basically, we offer money coaching sessions to students. So they have that opportunity to sit down one-on-one with one of our money mentors here at the center and talk about anything that they want to talk about in regards to managing money, if they want to create a budget for themselves, or if they just want any advice in regards to money in general. They have the opportunity to sit down one-on-one, and our money mentors will gladly help them navigate through those problems and find that solution. Our second program here that we offer at the Student Money Management Center is the Financial Readiness Program, and that's one of my favorite programs because we go to the students physically, and we offer interactive workshops, presentations like these today, and again, teaching students about financial literacy. And then our third program here is the Eagle Support Program, which is an opportunity that we offer to students here at the center. Let's say if a student finds themselves in need of financial assistance as a college student, a lot of us, sometimes may come up to a problem where we need money to pay rent, or we need money to pay for groceries, or just anything in general, anything that's unexpected. Students just have this opportunity to apply for our Eagle Support Program and help them, assist them financially. And then, of course, we have virtual services that we offer here. And what I mean by services is we have a YouTube channel where we also post any presentations that we do, any workshops, things like that, to give people access to 24/7. So in case they can't make it to one of our in-person events, they have access to that presentation / workshop on our YouTube channel. So again, one of the most important things about our center and that we really feel proud of is that we're very student-centric. So we love to help students, and that's our mission, is to help better the students' life during their college careers here at UNT. So before we get started with the game, here's the topics that we're going to be covering throughout this presentation and over the game too. So of course, we're going to be talking about income, taxes, some expenses, what falls under the expenses category, such as fixed, variable costs, periodic costs, discretionary, and of course, talking about creating a budget. So that being said, let's go ahead and start with our first term, which is income. So with income, basically what income is, for those who don't know, it's basically money that you have available at the moment and available for you to spend. And that can come in many ways. So for example, as a college student, some of my income sources that I have available for me is, grants, scholarships that I have from the school, loans that I've taken out. Others include any financial family support, support that you're getting from your parents, from your aunt, uncle, your brother, sister, whoever it may be. All of these things include income, as well as if you have a job or any side hustles that you're currently working on. So all of these things include income. And also under income, we have two types of income. We have gross income and net income. So once you go out there in the real, in the real world, you get your first job and get your very first paycheck, right? So these are a couple of terms that your paycheck is going to include. So your gross income is basically what the company is going to be paying you, but the total amount, but that doesn't include taxes. So that's where net income comes in. So net income is your take-home money. So basically, the money that you're going to take home after they take out those taxes. So that's basically the general spiel of what income is. And now that brings us to taxes. So taxes, we have a couple of different ways, of taxes. So for example, we have federal taxes, and these include, your Social Security, Medicare, whatever it may be. Those are under the federal taxes. And then we have state taxes, which is disability, if your job offers you, family insurance or anything like that, workers' compensation, if you're applicable for that. All of these things fall under the state tax category. And then lastly, we have local taxes. But do keep in mind with taxes, it all depends where you're going to be living, the state that you're going to be living at, the city, states. It all varies depending on the location. For example, I know California, they have federal taxes. They also have state taxes. They also have, local city taxes. So just keep in mind that taxes do vary depending on the location that you're going to be living at. And then that brings us to fixed expenses. So what are these? These fall under the expenses category. So we have the first one being fixed. So as the name mentions, fixed is a cost that stays the same. Some examples of these include, if you have a monthly subscription on Netflix or on Hulu, it's basically you're going to be paying that same amount of money, like monthly, weekly, daily. That cost doesn't change. So that basically that's what fixed expense is. And here as a college student, one of the most popular fixed expenses that we have to make as students is paying for rent. It's a big expense that we have to make, monthly. So that's basically what an expense, fixed expense is. It's costs that usually don't, change. And that moving on to our variable expenses. These, as the name also mentioned, they vary depending on the situation. So these expenses usually change. So for example, let's say I go grocery shopping for, this weekend. So I'm gonna be paying let's say $200 for groceries. And then next week, for the next week, I go back to the grocery store and buy food, but I may not be spending the same amount as I did last week because I may have some groceries left over. So I may be spending, let's say $150. So it all depends on the situation. So these expenses, they vary depending on the situation, as I mentioned with the grocery shopping example. So, other examples that you see here include food, utilities, transportation, things in that nature. And then moving on to our periodic expenses. These occur, regularly, but not, monthly. Some examples can include car maintenance, and a good example here, being a college student of a periodic expense is textbooks. So those are, big periodic expense that a lot of students have to, go through, unfortunately, but that's an example of it. And then we have our discretionary expenses. So these are expenses that you make, but on items that you want to get for yourself. For example, let's say I want to buy me a pair of new shoes, or go out to the mall and buy me a pair of new jeans or a shirt or something. But these are things that you're spending money on, but that you can actually live without. So it's basically spending on your wants. And as you see here, some examples include traveling, gifts, personal care, going out to eat with your friends. All of these are discretionary expenses, or AKA expenses that you're going to be investing on your wants. So now this brings us to creating a budget. So a budget is super important, especially as you get older, as you're going to be facing a lot of, more financial responsibilities. Budget can really, really reduce that stress of having to worry about, where am I going to get the money to pay rent, or how am I going to buy some groceries? How am I going to feed myself? So, creating a budget really reduces that stress. So really, if you have time, sit down and make that budget. I recommend it 10 out of 10, because as a college student, we find ourselves having to, make a lot of expenses. And if you don't keep up with your money, like, you can fall behind, and, it can hurt you. Not in a bad way, but, you know what I mean. But yeah, creating a budget really helps you find that balance that you need between you and your money. So what all things does a budget include? So it's very simple. The first rule that I really want to, just throw out there is to really just evaluate yourself, evaluate what's important to you and what's not important to you. And that really, it's a deciding factor in what to include into your budget. So let's say, for example, what's important to me is going every morning to, let's say, Starbucks and buying that coffee. If that's important to me, then go ahead and include that in your budget. But if going out, buying a snack bar at the candy machine, if that's not important to me, then I wouldn't include that in my budget. So just really evaluate what's important, what's not important, and include what's important to you, to your lifestyle, into your budget. That way, you get rid of things that aren't necessary to your life, and it'll help you save you a lot of money. But basically, what a budget is, as you can see here, it's basically all of your income sources. As we mentioned before, if you have any jobs, or if you have, family support, or, any other money sources in general, such as, any side hustles, that minus any expenses that you're going to be making. And that's, if once you subtract all of that, just a reflection of your budget, a reflection of your lifestyle, AKA your decisions. So it's very important to have a budget. It's really going to help you achieve goals and just teach you that discipline that you're going to need later on in life, when you're going to be starting to face all of these financial challenges, financial responsibilities that you're going to be having to make as an adult person. So with that being said, that brings us to game time. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Mr. Rodolfo, and he'll be gladly navigating you through the game of life. So
thank you, Juan. I appreciate it. Okay, guys, so it's time to begin the game of life. And first things first, remember that the lesson of this is that you're going to learn how to put into practice all the things that you just learned with Juan. And the best thing about it is that it's gonna cost you $0. So you're gonna get a lot of knowledge, and you're going to learn a lot of things about lifestyle choices. That means about a career, and including ranges of expected salaries, some of the down payments for housing, utilities, so that you get an idea of what it's like out there once you get a career and you get through school and college. You're also going to learn about the importance of savings and also about the cost of living in your area, because all of these costs have been arranged, the salaries and the cost of what it's like to live in Dallas and starting salaries. So, and it's all through a make-believe game. So for this, you guys should have received a worksheet. If not, do not worry. All you need is a piece of paper and a pen to write down and keep up with the numbers that you're going to be thrown and the questions and the choices that you will make. Okay, so let's get started. So as Juan mentioned earlier, the first thing that you want to consider, one of the things that you want to consider when you're choosing a career is your income. And there are two types of income. The first one is gross income, which is the income. It's called gross. This is a joke, but they say it's called gross income because you're never going to see it in your bank account. And this is the income that your employer always talks about. When you get an offer letter, when you sign a contract, that's the number. That big number that says the annual salary. That's the gross income. But that does not take into account taxes, if you're going to be paying federal, local taxes, Social Security, all those things. The money that you end up taking home, that's the net income. And before you accept any job offer, you need to calculate your net income, because the number one rule when you take into consideration the money that you're going to make is that you need to make sure that the money that you're going to be paid, it's a livable wage. Okay, so for that, go ahead and choose one of these careers. And these careers, obviously, you can choose based on your passions, based on your idea of what starting income is. And once you make your decision, Juan, if you want to like go along, let's like talk in front of them. Let's make you play the game, okay?
Awesome.
All right. So choose a career one out of these, Juan, like a random one. Let's try to have a good game of life too.
Awesome. You want me just say it out loud?
Yeah,
or?
just say it out loud.
Right.
Go ahead.
So I guess I'll choose to be an accountant.
Okay, an accountant. Here's a pen.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so an accountant in the Dallas area makes an average around 46.
Pretty good.
Give it or take it. And this is the gross income. This is what you would make on paper annually, okay? But in the game of life, bills usually come monthly, and so do your disbursements of your salary. And to calculate this, you usually end up taking about 75% of your gross income. When you take into consideration taxes and other deductibles like your insurance, and it depends on every specific situation. So to calculate this, you would divide $46,000 by 12, and don't worry, we will have the math for you in the next slide. So you do not have to do any math at least not for now. And divide 46,000 by 12, which is the career that Juan chose, and then subtract 25% of that, which is roughly $3,117 a month.
Mm-hmm.
That's what an accountant would make. Okay, so write that down on their monthly income. Okay, hope you guys are following along. These are some of the other salaries for the other careers for police officers, high school teachers, electricians, and these have been adjusted to the Dallas area.
I should have been a doctor.
Yes, different careers, the career that you choose makes a lot of difference in how much money you're going to make. So keep that in mind while you're thinking about what you want to do for the rest of your life. Okay, next thing is housing. Housing is going to be one of the most expensive purchases someone will make in their lives. And it's a very important one. So it's important to compare and to really think this through. Usually, when it comes to housing, buying a house is going to be the most expensive one. You have to secure a down payment. Um, Same thing for an apartment, but for a house is much bigger. And also, now it's 2021. Unfortunately, a lot of people have to maybe stay at their parents at the beginning of their careers, if they're lucky. But these are three options that we have presented to you, three common housing arrangements. So knowing what you do, Juan, and based on the income that you will make, what choice would you like to make, and tell us about it?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, a house sounds a little bit too expensive to start off with, especially me, like, I don't know, like starting off as, young with, starting career. I don't know, probably I want to choose living out with my parents, but I don't know if I can, I don't know if I can handle that. But I mean, I'll probably end up choosing an apartment. I feel that would be like suitable enough for me.
Yeah, and that's a good place in between. It gives you independence, and
Yeah.
it can be affordable.
Oh, there we go.
Usually the most affordable places are in the Dallas area, roughly $950 a month. House mortgage monthly payments go around 1,600, give it or take, depending on how expensive the house, on how many payments, on the rate that you got from your bank. There's a lot of factors. This is just one on average. And living at your parents, like I said earlier, it varies a lot on the arrangement that you have with your parents. So Juan made that choice. And remember, throughout this game, all choices have consequences. Okay. So let's move on to the next one. Food. Food is one of those expenses that no one can escape. We all need to eat. And one thing to consider is that eating out is the most expensive way to feed yourself, to be completely honest. Grocery shopping is usually the best way to save money, but it also depends on the way in which you shop, for how many people you shop, if you buy great value things, or if you, it depends on your diet a lot, and it varies a lot. And a meal plan is like a balance in between both, because you're technically eating out, but since it's a meal plan, depending on the university or the place in which you buy it, it's like in the in between both. So which one would you choose from?
For me, I don't know. Like, I feel like with me, I usually don't have a lot of time to like cook and like do all that, grocery shopping. So a meal plan right now sounds like a pretty good deal to me. But then again, I don't know how much that's gonna cost, because I feel like grocery shopping, of course, seems the cheaper option. But then again, I don't want my groceries to go bad if I'm not gonna have time to like cook it and all that stuff. So I feel like eating out, I don't want to do that. I mean, I'll do it right now, but it's real bad, guys. Don't do that at all. So it's a waste of money, literally. So I'll probably go with the meal plan.
Okay. And if after seeing these prices, if you want to change your mind, go ahead and change it. It's up to you. But usually in the game of life, you get to know ahead of time, if you're smart and you budget, how much money you will be spending. Because meal plans advertise that you can create a budget for eating out, for grocery shopping. So these are the prices for food. Okay. The next thing that we have are utilities. And as I mentioned earlier, all choices have consequences. Here, you do not get to choose if you chose to live in a house, you're going to pay utilities for a house. And the same thing applies for apartments or living at your parents. Another thing that I want to highlight before I show you guys the prices is that utilities can either be a variable or a fixed cost. It all depends on the arrangements that you have with your landlord in the case of apartments, or if you live with your parents. But if you own a house, more likely it ranges a lot. During the cold and the hot months, you might use more electricity, gas. So keep that in mind. Here are some of the utility expenses on average. So go ahead and write down, if you chose a house, it's 150, apartment 90, so forth and so on. So now here's the situation. It's a game of life, so let's make it a little bit fun. So it's a Friday night and you want to ask your significant other out on a date. Okay. So you have three options. You can either take them to the park, take them to see your favorite artist. It's a concert, so the tickets are going to be expensive. Or you can take them to the movie theater. Go ahead and make your choice. And everyone at home, please do and make your choice.
I don't know. I mean, I want to take them out to like the concert because I mean, first impressions matter, right? But I don't know. I feel like a concert is a little bit,
Let me show
too
you the
expensive,
ticket prices, so you can make a better choice. Okay.
I guess you know what? I don't know. I guess I'll just choose park.
Okay, he chose the park. The park
Park
is free, so you get to save money during this round. Now it's a game of life, so there are a lot of plot twists. This date did not go well for any of y'all.
Oh man.
So now you're feeling a little bit of, oh, and remember, before I move on, this is discretionary spending. Okay, this is money that you can use to play around. So keep that in mind. Anyway, so you're feeling a little bit down, feeling a little bit alone because your day didn't go your way. So now you're considering getting a pet. This would also fall under discretionary spending. So go ahead and make your choice one. Would you get a dog, a cat, a snake?
I don't know. If we're talking about being like making smart decisions, then I also gotta be taking into account like how much is it gonna cost me to have a dog, a cat, or a snake. Maybe I might want to go to the no pit, but then again, I just broke up with my partner, it might be a little emotional, right? So, I don't know. I feel like a dog would be too much. I don't know. Who's pretty sure there's a lot of like dog fans out there, but I feel like I'll go with the cat.
Okay.
The cat's much like
So
chill and simple.
you decided to get a cat at the animal shelter, $45 fee.
See, I'm telling you, a dog is expensive. So
yeah, and that's not taking into account
45.
Maybe shots or if you had a medical problem in the future.
Taking them to the vet and all that stuff.
Mhm.
I mean,
Pets are expensive, so keep that in mind, guys. They're lovely but expensive. Then the last choice that you guys have to make for today is transportation. In this game, your things, businesses are reopening. So now you're moving from working at the office to working at the office. Okay, so you need to commute to work. So how are you going to do that? Are you going to, and let's take the down payments out of the equation. These are the cost of keeping up a car, the cost of how much you would pay per month for public transportation, and biking, because whether you believe it or not, biking, those have a monthly price that you pay. So go ahead and make your choice. Juan, I'll show you the prices so you can make an informed decision.
no. I mean, a bike. I mean, if I'm gonna, if one of my coworkers see me out there with a bike, oh, they'd be like, "Oh, what is that guy doing?" And they just, I don't know. Because then again, what if it's a hot day?
Or it's
pulling
raining
up to
like it was earlier,
raining,
right?
or just pulling up to the office like all sweaty and like a little like, I don't know. And the car's just too expensive. But I mean, it doesn't sound bad, but I mean, I guess I'll go public transportation. I feel that'd be the best option for me.
All right, public transportation it is. Then go ahead and write that expense down. All right, and then guys, this is the final round. And remember, in the game of life, the unexpected always happens. So you were commuting on your way to work, and regardless of the thing that you were riding to work, whether it was your car, a bus, or your bike, all those three got into a traffic accident. Okay, a car crashed into a bus, into a bike. So, so all of you got into a car accident, a traffic accident. So your transportation broke down. Okay, you lost your bike or you lost your car. Okay, you don't own the bus, you didn't lose anything. But all of you had to go to the medic. You guys had to go to the doctor and get patched up. And also because of the stress, you forgot to do a credit card payment. And all of this happened all at once. So for the last round, go ahead and deduct all of these, the 45 for missing your credit card payment, the 200 for going to the medic. And last but not least, if you own the car, deduct 652. If you own the bike, deduct $70, which is the price of a new bike, roughly. And that is for the last round. Okay. So now I hope you guys have been able to keep up with the math. Juan, let's review, okay?
Awesome. So after like deducting everything, so I'm kind of glad I made some smart decisions, such as taking like the public transportation, because like I didn't have to like make any payments for like a bike or a car at the end. So that saved me a good amount of money. But then again, like of course, medical and stuff really took a toll on my paycheck. But I ended up having $1,257 left. So I'm proud of it. I feel like I made great decisions, great choices. So I feel I can do something with that money. Maybe go out and buy some clothes because I need some variable expenses, I guess.
Yeah, and he made a lot of smart decisions. He saw that when I revealed that the accountant didn't make much money, he stuck up to live within his means. Okay, when you always want to have a money saved up, and if you're not making as much money as you would like, you don't need to be spending the money that you do not have. So he did a lot of great choices.
Good part of myself.
You guys had a lot of smart money choices. Okay. So remember, guys, all choices have consequences, and the choices that Juan made made him keep a surplus. So
yes, sir.
Props to that. So here's a little bit of homework for y'all. After playing this game, hopefully you guys got an insight into the type of spender that you are. Here are a couple of examples, and you could be more than one of these, and you can have a little bit habits depending on the day of either one. Okay, so the first one are impulse spenders. These are individuals who buy items without planning their purchases and often buy things that they do not need. Then we have the therapeutic spenders, and they shop when they're feeling bad, when they're feeling down, and they shop to feel better. Then we have the fanatical spenders. These individuals are so busy looking for bargains that they do not realize that all the time and energy that they spend outweighs the bargain itself. This is when you spend 3 hours finding coupons and looking deals online to save, $10. Your time is money, so remember that when you're looking for good deals. Then we have the passive spenders. These individuals are the opposite of the fanatical. They do not like shopping. So they do not think about they do not compare prices or ask questions. You want to be in between. You want to use your time smart and make sure that your time ends up saving you money. And this is the ideal spender, which hopefully is most of us at times, is the utilitarian spender, which only shops to fulfill their needs and not their wants. But as Juan mentioned earlier, if getting Starbucks every morning has a big meaning for you, and it's the reason that is the flowers that keep you going, the thing that gives you joy in life. Go ahead, just add it to your discretionary section in your budget. So a couple things to help you save money. Like always, make sure that you create a budget to manage those discretionary spendings and make sure that you're paying what you have to pay, and also that you have savings for when life happens, the game of life. And thank you so much, guys, for listening. And I'm gonna pass it back to Juan.
All right, thank you, Rodolfo. That was a fun game. I hope all of you enjoyed it. And of course, if you ever have any more questions, or if you want to know more information about the Student Money Management Center, or if you want if a topic that we talked about today interests you and you want to know more about it, feel free to reach out to us or follow us on our social media accounts. As you see here, we have Instagram at UNT Money. We have a Facebook, UNT Student Money Management Center. We have Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter at UNT Money. And as mentioned before, we do have a YouTube channel where we usually just upload our videos, presentations. If you want to look through those, and if you see a topic that interests you, feel free to watch those videos. And you can find us on YouTube at UNT SMMC. And finally, we do have our own money podcast, which is available on any podcast platform, Spotify, Apple, whatever you use. You can find us there, our podcast. And again, we just talk about fun and interesting topics about money management, how to handle your money, how to budget and stuff like that. So yeah, again, thank you all for tuning in. And if you have any other questions, if you want to know more about the Student Money Management Center, feel free to shoot us an email or call us or visit us in person. We're here at the University of North Texas, Chestnut Hall, Suite 115.
And please make sure that you complete the survey. This will help you. Go ahead and scan this QR code. This will help you improve our presentations in the future and give a better service to our students. And we thank you so much, Jess, for having us. Thank you so much to the Plano Library. And that concludes our presentation.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for your presentation today. It's a great way to make money management fun. That was a fun game.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your time, and thank you everybody who attended. Y'all have a good day.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.